Okay, hi guys, so today what we're going to do, we're going to be talking about heart disease, which is the silent killer. And we're going to talk about what you need to do to not get heart disease and how to reverse it if you have it. Because right now, the reality is 1 out of 2 people in North America, 1 out of 2, so 50% of us, so 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 50% of you guys, 50% of the population will die of a heart attack or heart disease related illness. The truth is that right now, the statistics are not in our favor. 1 out of 2 people that have heart attack, so that's in North America, 80 million people in US and Canada have heart disease. 80 million people. That's almost triple the population of Canada have heart disease. 871,500 deaths per year are attributed to heart disease. So these are people that get heart attacks, strokes, stroke-related, and like blood circulation, and they get a thrombus that goes to their body and kills them. So that's 871,000 people die of heart disease in North America. Children. Heart disease used to be a disease of elderly before, but now 25% of children, 25% of children 5 and up already have plaquing in the arteries. 25% of them have already plaquing in their artery, and that's absolutely not normal. And this is related to our lifestyle. And I'm going to show you, but very briefly, because this talk is only an hour, I cannot go over all the details. I tried to summarize this as best as I could so you guys have a good understanding and could take some bullet points home and start applying it right away. Now, teenagers. 60% of 15 to 19-year-olds had plaquing in their arteries already. 60% of teenagers have plaquing in their arteries. Now the question we can ask yourself is, why is this happening? Why are so many people having high blood pressure, having plaquing in their arteries? Because one of the side effects of plaquing is that they get high blood pressure and so on. Prevention. Okay? In order to prevent something, which we want to do, prevent heart disease, you got to know what's causing it. You got to know what it is. You got to understand what heart disease is in order to prevent it. You see, if you go to a doctor and you ask him, okay, I want to be healthy, this is the answer you're going to get usually. You've got a rare condition called good health. Frankly, we're not sure how to treat it. In our system right now, in our medical system, in our system outside of these doors, they don't know how to treat health. If you're healthy, they don't know what to do. They really don't know what to do. But health is your responsibility, and you have to take control of it. Nobody's going to give you good health. We're going to help you in this office or in offices like similar to mine, but the onus, the responsibility falls upon you. You have to take total control of your own health because nobody cares about you as much as you do. And nobody does. And we're going to, like you see, the reason we do these seminars, the reason we do all these talks and this presentation for you guys is that we want to arm you with tools that you can use and you can make your health as best as you could. Some of you have lost your health, but you can gain it back. And I'm going to show you how today, focusing on the heart. So, mythbusters. Let's go over some myth. I usually like doing some mythbusters during my talks. So, myth. Heart disease and cancer are normal with aging. Who thinks that's true? Raise your hand. Thank God. You guys, nobody thinks that. You see, that's not true. Truth is that heart disease and cancer are common, but absolutely not normal. Is it common to have heart disease? Yes. Like I said, 60% or 1 out of 2 people will die of a heart disease. So this is a very common disease, but it's not normal. Next, heart disease is in my family history, so why bother? I'm going to get it anyways, right? Who thinks that if your family has heart disease, you're going to get it too? Raise your hand. Man, that's a good group. Nobody raises their hand. I think they know the answers. Okay, truth is, who knows what Okinawans are?
Oh, some people live in Japan?
Yeah, these are centenaries.
Yes.
So these are people, this is a culture of individuals that live in Japan, and they're one of the races that live the longest out of, there's more centenarians, more people that are over 100 in Japan in this area than almost anywhere else in the world. Okay? So, Untitled Okinawans have the same high risk and low risk genes as North Americans. So what does that mean? North Americans versus Okinawans. So let's talk about that a little bit. Canada and USA, 4 times number of deaths from lymphoma. Western cultures, 5 times number of deaths. So basically there's a lot of things that cause us to die, like from lymphoma to heart disease to breast cancer. Older Okinawans, 1% die from heart disease and cancer. These are Okinawans that live in their culture and they follow the Okinawan lifestyle, which is eating natural food, no processed meat or no processed bread or anything like this. They just eat natural. And only 1% of them die of heart disease and cancer. Remember the last slide I said they have the same genes as, they have the same high-risk genes as North Americans do, but only 1% of them die of those. You see, you take these Okinawans, you move them to North America, and you make them live our lifestyle, guess what happens?
They die.
They die. They don't live to 100 anymore. Okay? So now the question is, what are they doing that's making them live so long? And is it possible for us to do the same things and be able to get to live to 100? Because you see, I'm not 100 yet, but I'm going to be one day. And I truly believe that every single one of us has the potential to live to 100 if we live a smart, healthy life. And my talks are pretty simple. You're going to notice if you come to these talks more and more, you notice, hey, why does he talk about the same thing? Because I only have one thing to share with you. It's for you to be healthy. And to be healthy is very simple, and we make it more complicated than it needs to be. To be healthy, you just have to know what to eat. You have to know, exercise a little bit, avoid stressful events, and just be relaxed. See, what's the worst thing that could happen? See, we have some students here. What's the worst thing that could, actually graduate, masters now. What's the worst thing that could happen if you fail a test? No, what's the worst thing that could happen? You do it again, right? What's the worst thing that could happen? Let's say you're a housewife and you cook it and you burn the dish. What's the worst thing that could happen? You just burn it and you make it again, right? So every problem that we have, we magnify. Humans are good at magnifying problems. We got to learn to let go of things that are not really important in life, and just find a solution. Always try to come up with a solution to overcome that problem. Because if you live in that negative feeling that you just created to yourself, not only will it make you stress, it's going to make you look older, it's going to make you get more wrinkles, it's going to make you have high blood pressure. So number one is just learn to live at peace with yourself and with everybody around you. And you see, in Western culture, 84%, so that's 5 out of 6 people. 5 out of 6 people die of either heart disease or cancer. Who would like to be that 1 out of 6? Okay, this is one that everybody has to raise their hand. Who likes to be the 1 out of 6? Right? Everybody raise. Good. So if you follow these principles, I could almost guarantee you. Again, I can't guarantee. I can promise you that your health will take a turn. Who's been coming here more than 2 years, or 2 years, or almost 2 years? Yeah, there's a few of you that have been coming here. Actually, most of you that have been coming here more than 2 years. Since coming here, how has your health changed? Most of you, I would say, you don't get the headaches you used to get. You don't get the back pains you used to get. Some of you had chronic headaches constantly that have disappeared. Most people, once they go to a chiropractor, then we find the cause of your problem, and you start listening and not being stubborn, because some of you were stubborn at first, but you're not anymore. And you're not stubborn, your health will improve, and it's going to start. You're going to start getting changes. But the thing is that you have to get committed to yourself. And you're not doing this to make Dr. Ali busier. You're not doing this to make Dr. Ali's talks busy. But you're doing this for yourself. And I applaud you guys for taking the time out of a busy schedule. It's raining outside. You took the time to come in here and educate yourself on what to do to be healthy. Because that's the number one step. Is, am I committed to myself? Am I committed to being the best version of myself that I could possibly be? Because if you are, that's the first step. You got to overcome that. And once you do, this is like, honestly, these are easy. And I could just summarize it in one word, but I'm not. We're going to keep you here for an hour just to entertain you a little bit. So the next, is it genetics? Could it be your genes? Some centenarians did not possess the low-risk genes for heart disease. In fact, some high-risk genes, therefore, can always remain slim, healthy, and robust for a full 100 years despite the bad genes or the absence of good genes. Like I said, you take these guys and you bring them to North America, and they die at 70, 76, just like everyone else that does in North America. Causes. The most common cause of heart disease is narrowing or blockage of the arteries. Okay? So, you have an artery that comes out of the heart. That artery, over time, it starts narrowing. If you're not healthy, it starts narrowing, and when it narrows, you see, if you have a hose that goes, if water goes to those plants, and you have a hose that goes directly there, what would happen to a hose if I step on it? Will water still go?
No.
What will I need to do to get water to those plants?
Remove your foot.
But let's say I don't want to remove my foot. But
Bypass. Get another one and bypass.
But let's say, yeah, bypass is another option. But could I also increase more water, bring more water there by increasing the pressure of the water?
But it's blocked.
No, it's not fully blocked. I'm putting pressure, so now only drops go instead of flowing water. So if I increase the pressure, more water will go there.
Yeah.
Okay, that's high blood pressure.
Okay.
Okay, high blood pressure is you have your arteries have narrowed, and your heart wants to get blood to your toes. The only way it's going to get it there is by doing what? By increasing the pressure in your heart, by making it pump harder, and so the blood could get there. So you see, this is your amazing heart. See, the blue one are veins, the venous system. So that's the not veins, but this is it has no oxygen. So these are blood that coming back after it's gone through the body, and the red one is the blood that's coming from the lungs and going everywhere else to your body. So your heart stats. Let's go over this. Your heart pumps 7,200 liters of blood per day. 7,200 liters of blood per day. You know how much that is? Most cars have 65 liters of, the gas tank is 65 liters. That's filling up your car 110 times. 110 times. That's how much blood your heart pumps every single day. Since you've been born until the day you die. So if you live to 100, 7,200 times liters per day times 100, that's that's 720,000 liters of blood that your heart will pump per lifetime if you live to 100. It's no joke. And can anybody control how fast their heart is beating? Can you make your heart pump faster? There are certain things you could do to make it pump faster. If you exercise, why do you think when you exercise your heart pumps faster?
Muscles need blood.
Your muscles need blood, so your heart
has to push more.
Push the blood to the muscles. Do you think that, you see, I'm going to quiz you a little bit because we're a small group, so I'm going to just quiz you, so I want it to be interactive. Do you think when you're exercising and you're running after the bus, or let's say there's a tiger that's following you, right? Because let's talk old days, right? Let's say we're 2,000 years ago, and you're walking around and you're having fun and you're walking in the park, not the park, the jungle, and all of a sudden you see this tiger, right? You're gonna have to run. And you just ate a meal. Do you think like your body will still? No. You cannot run yet. You have to digest the food. No, you're going to run after the tiger, and you're going to forget about the food that you ate, and you're just going to run as quickly as you can to get away from the tiger. Your body is going to pump 7,200 liters of blood every single day. But if you run after it, if a tiger runs after you, you might pump a little bit more that day. Right? So this is just the general numbers, and you might go up and down. So this is the arteries. Let's talk about this. So you see normal artery, nice and big. Okay, you see it's nice and thick, the walls are nice and clear. Look what happened here. Narrowed artery. What do you think could cause the narrowing of the artery? Inflammation. Okay, your artery gets inflamed, and now the hole gets smaller. Guess what your body's going to do to get blood everywhere? It's going to increase your blood pressure. And what does the average person do when they have high blood pressure? They go to the doctor, and the doctor does what they're supposed to do. They give you medication because they don't want to be held liable if you have a heart attack. It's okay, you need to take this drug. If you take a drug and you have inflammatory disease in your arteries, is that going to improve with the drugs you're taking? No. It's just going to cover the symptoms, right? So the question you got to ask yourself, and you see, if you keep on taking the drugs, the inflammation is going to get worse and worse, and eventually it's going to cause what's called a thrombus, and this is what's going to leave and cause you to have a heart attack and die.
That's
right?
a blood clot.
Blood clot, yeah, exactly. Aneurysm, blood clot, exactly. So if there's narrowing of the blood, of the artery, then the blood doesn't go through. So our job, or your job, if you know anybody that has high blood pressure, your job should be, okay, so why do I have narrowing of the arteries? What caused the narrowing? And this comes by inflammation. So let's go over some mythbusters, okay? But actually, our medical system tells us that it's because people have high cholesterol, right? What causes inflammation? There are many things that could cause inflammation, but when you have inflammation in your body, what does your body do to protect your arteries? What do you think your body does? We talked about this when we did the intermittent fasting a little bit. So for those of you that were here, that was the last month we did a talk on intermittent fasting. I'm going to put a link right here. and then you can click on it and go watch that talk too.
You say, what does the body do?
When you have inflammation in your body, what does your body do to protect you? Because realize this, your body is super intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
Your body has only one function to do. And you know what that function is? Keep you alive.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that you do is to stay alive. So what is one thing that your body will do if there's inflammation? Okay, let me put it this way. If I cut my hand, what will my body do when I cut my hand? It's going to make a scar, it's going to heal, but there's physiological events that happen, so we're going to ask our young people that took science, but I'm not going to test you guys. But when you cut yourself, your body, they might get infected, so it's going to sell white blood cells, it's going to set a lot of platelets to try to heal that plate and close the cut so you don't bleed. Because if you don't stop bleeding, guess what's going to happen? You will die. Some of the drugs that we take, when people have high blood pressure, why do they say, what's the problem? They say you have thick what? Thick blood. And what do they give us when we have thick blood? Medicine, right? And you know what one of the side effects of those thick blood is, or those medications are?
You bleed easy?
You bleed easy, you bruise easy. So people that are taking blood thinners, they Coumadin and so on, they bump their arms like this against the wall, they would have a big bruise here. Because their body has lost it, because we're synthetically blocking the body from what it needs to do. Again, do people have high blood pressure? Do people have thick blood because they're not taking enough Coumadin? No, that's never the cause. So we gotta shift our mind and look elsewhere. Okay? So, mythbuster. High cholesterol causes heart disease. Who thinks that high cholesterol causes heart disease? It doesn't. But we've been led to believe, if you look on TV, we've been led to believe that if you have high cholesterol, you have heart disease. But what is cholesterol? Does anybody know what cholesterol is? I just want to make sure that you guys were listening last talk. Soon you guys are going to be doing the talks. I'm going to be a guest. I'm going to just watch it and be a guest. All right? So it's a soft laxative that is made by the liver. Your body makes cholesterol.
Yes.
80% of the cholesterol that's in your blood is made in your liver. Okay? So it travels in the body as two components, LDL and HDL. You guys heard what that is. They call it LDL the bad cholesterol. They call HDL the good cholesterol. There is no good and bad cholesterol. They're both good. Okay? But we've been saying good and bad, but I'll go over that in a minute. Cholesterol is needed in manufacture hormones, bile acid, and vitamin D. It's needed, it's essential. Guess what happens when we take cholesterol medications? We're preventing all of these things from happening. You cannot make estrogen, testosterone, cortisone, and a host of other hormones without cholesterol. What is cholesterol continued? HDL is known as the good cholesterol because it helps clean the arteries. LDL is known as the bad cholesterol because it doesn't get carried easily or move around quickly. See this I put, do rats attract garbage? Or does garbage attract rats? Garbage attracts rats. Right? It's not, the rats will never attract the garbage. The garbage will attract the garbage. Same thing with high blood pressure. Right? Does cholesterol give you high blood pressure, or does the poor body functioning poorly cause you to have high cholesterol?
And then poorly.
Yeah, so when you have inflammation in your body, what your body does is send cholesterol to that area to try to protect it and try to repair it. Right? That's what cholesterol does. And that's why people say, oh, you have high cholesterol. Of course you have high cholesterol because you have inflammation in your body. So number one thing you must do is what? Is decrease the inflammation. I'm going to talk about more in detail about how to do that. High cholesterol causes heart disease. We went over this. No, it doesn't. It's the oxidation of cholesterol, the breakdown of cholesterol that causes heart disease. Truth. More people have heart attacks with normal cholesterol than elevated cholesterol. Did you know that? Because everybody that has high blood pressure is taking cholesterol medications as well. So their cholesterol is normal because they're taking medication. Does that make sense? This is a tough one. You gotta like go deep in here to get this. High cholesterol causes heart disease. Truth, it's the oxidation. So we went over this. More people die of heart attacks with normal cholesterol than elevated cholesterol. Why? Because most of the people have normal cholesterol because they're taking medications to normalize their cholesterol, right? There are higher death rates from low cholesterol than high. We discussed this. Statin drugs. Does anybody know what statin drugs are?
Cholesterol.
Lipitor, Zocor, Crestor. These are all statin drugs. So statin drugs lower cholesterol, but not the mortality of heart attacks and strokes. And we know what would happen to cholesterol if we decrease it. All the functions of cholesterol that I mentioned on the other side, it helps with healing, it helps making hormones and all that stuff. Guess what happens when you decrease your cholesterol? It affects all of those things because you cannot make all of those. You cannot make those cholesterol medications. Which organ did I say makes cholesterol?
Liver.
Okay. What organ do you think will get damaged if you take cholesterol medications? Who takes cholesterol medications right now? Okay. So every how many months do you have to go make a liver test, blood test?
3 months.
Every 3 months, right? Why do you think they check your liver?
I want to see the balance.
Yeah, but you see, I haven't gotten blood tests in so many months because I don't take medications. I have nothing to worry about, right? But if you take a medication, they got to test it regularly to make sure that nothing's breaking down inside your body. Cholesterol will cause nerve damage, neuropathy it's called. Cholesterol will cause joint and ligament and tendon rupture.
And weakness in muscle.
Because it causes weakness in muscle. Muscle wasting atrophy. It causes heart failure because heart is a muscle. Okay. Cholesterol is a powerful antioxidant and protects against against aging, the effects of aging, right? And you were talking cholesterol. If you don't have enough cholesterol, it's going to cause you to be depressed because it affects the hormones. And if the hormones are not balanced properly, then serotonin is one of them. It might cause you to get depressed. Cholesterol causes the production of coenzyme Q10. You mentioned coenzyme Q10. Coenzyme Q10 is a natural antioxidant that's made in the cells of your body. And as you age, you lose the ability to make coenzyme Q10, right? But if you take cholesterol medications like statins, it's going to prevent you from making coenzyme Q10. So that's why the doctors told you to supplement on coenzyme Q10. But one recommendation I'm going to have for anybody that's taking cholesterol medication is figure out why you have cholesterol and work on reversing your problem. Because taking statins for the rest of your life will not get rid of cholesterol problems. What you need to do, you need to figure out what's causing your high cholesterol and deal with that. And that's the number one focus for you, should be to reverse your cholesterol. And it's not a degenerative, progressive disease. You can reverse it. Thousands of people have done it, but once they took ownership of their health. And I started about talking about taking ownership of your health. Once you take ownership of your health and you do the things that are gonna get you healthy, then you would do it. I had a patient, I'm not gonna name her, she's here, but no, actually no, you weren't it, no, you're somebody else. She came earlier today, or we call her G, okay, her name is G. She came in, and I said, okay, so she's borderline cholesterol, she's borderline diabetes. They put her on diabetes medication. So last time she was at the talk, I told her, okay, you need to come to my intermittent fasting talk. And she came, she listened, she went home. I said, okay, so did you start implementing? She said, almost, yeah, almost. But sometimes I eat sugar, sometimes I eat cake and stuff like that. I said, you can't do that. It's like, imagine this. If my building was burning and there was a massive fire in here, and I want to put the fire out, but I like to be warm, and I keep on adding pieces of wood on to the building. Will that building ever stop burning? No. Same thing with nutrition, and same thing with your body. Certain things cause your body to be inflamed, cause your body to be burning from inside. And the symptoms that you're experiencing right now are just oh wow, I don't have to yell anymore. So the symptoms that you're experiencing is just your body's way of telling you that something's not working properly. So instead of masking the symptoms, and some of you met me later in your life, which is okay, but now since you know, you have to start implementing these. You have to take ownership of that. Because, no, you see, if your doctor wanted to teach you how to do this, he would have to do these kind of seminars, but he doesn't, because he's busy. Because there's a lot of lazy people out there that don't want to take charge of their own health. But you guys do. Yeah.
How would you know that you have high cholesterol or normal or low, or how would I know?
How would you know is by your doctor doing blood tests.
Oh, only if you go for a blood
Yeah,
test.
if you do a blood test, right? But if you do find out you have high cholesterol, do not worry. Yeah, you have to worry. Yeah, I have high cholesterol, but think about what you need to do to reverse this process. Let me ask you, I'm going to prove to you that you can heal from high cholesterol. Even the people that have high cholesterol, what happens to your hand when you cut it? Does it heal?
Yes.
It heals. Your body was there to make sure that you're alive. So if you cut yourself, it heals. What makes you think you cannot heal from high cholesterol? What makes you think you cannot heal from diabetes? What makes you think you cannot heal from chronic headaches? From thyroid problems? From being overweight? What makes you think you cannot do any of those things? It's just your limiting belief in here. So you have to take ownership of that. Okay? So depression, stop the production of coenzyme Q10. We talked about that. And coenzyme Q10 is just an enzyme. It's just an enzyme that your body. It's like not an it's an enzyme. It's an antioxidant that your body makes to protect your cells. Right? As we age, we make less coenzyme Q10. If you take cholesterol, you're not making any more coenzyme Q10 because it blocks the pathways to make coenzyme Q10. How do cholesterol drugs lower cholesterol? Now that I've told you, you guys should be able to figure it out on your own right now. How do you think your cholesterol medications decrease your cholesterol? What did I say? Who makes the cholesterol in your body? Liver. So what do you think cholesterol does? It inhibits your liver from making cholesterol. This all comes to the cellular level, right? It all comes out to the cellular level. These drugs attack a cellular pathway in your body. So it stops that process, and then lo and behold, now I have normal cholesterol, but my artery is still blocked. And I still die of a heart attack. But I think I'm healthy. How many people do you know that have died of heart attack but they were feeling good the day before? Raise your hand if you know somebody.
Oh, yeah.
You see, half the people here raise their hands. Because that's what usually happens. You go to a party, you're having fun, you're dancing, and you see John also dancing, and he's having fun, and he looks good, and he drinks alcohol. He's so bubbly, and he's the main guy on the dance floor. And the next day you go home and you hear a phone call. Hey, you remember John the other day? He was at the dance. He looked so good. Can you believe he died of a heart attack? He was only 45 years old. Right? This is the reality. People are dying left and right. Like I said, 5 out of 6 people are either going to die of heart disease or cancer. So now, if we don't want to be one of those 5 out of 6, we got to figure out what we need to do to take control of our health. Yeah, we said that when you stop this enzyme, the liver can no longer make the cholesterol. Why does your cholesterol raise in the first place? We talked about this. What do you think? Why do you think the cholesterol raises? Because of inflammation in your body. Your body does naturally. Your body does something wonderful, which is to raise your cholesterol to protect you. But we say, no, I don't want high cholesterol because I hear it's bad for me. So I go to the doctor and I get a drug to decrease my cholesterol. But that just doesn't fix anything, just covers symptoms. Do you know that your brain and nerve tissue is 60% fat, 25% of it, 25% of your brain and spinal cord is made of actual cholesterol. Okay? So when we take cholesterol medication, guess what happens to our nervous system? It gets affected. We get slow, we get muscle aches, we're slower at moving, we have achiness all over the body, and sometimes we blame our old age. But it's not because of your old age, it's what you've been doing with your old age. You see, in Okinawa, people live to 100, they have sex at 100. Sorry, it's PG-13, but they have sex at 100. Most people in North America cannot even have sex at 50. They have to go to the doctor to get a prescription to how to do it. Okay, so what are they doing that we're not doing? They're living a life that's balanced, healthy, that's natural. We forget how to live naturally anymore. Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Sure, go ahead.
I was thinking, the only reason you know you need cholesterol medications because you went to your doctor and then they did the blood works and came back and said, oh, your cholesterol is high, and they give you that. Now you don't know, you just went to your doctor and said, okay, I'm going to get it done. So now you're on it. What would have happened if they say your cholesterol is high but no medication? That's not an option.
No, that's not a good thing either. See, if your cholesterol high, you don't change your lifestyle, and you don't take medication, something bad's going to happen. Right? However, if your cholesterol high, you know it, and you know what's causing it, you find the cause of it, which is inflammation of your internal organs or your blood vessels, and you correct that. Guess what's going to happen to your cholesterol naturally?
Go down.
It's going to go down. It's not rocket science, right? Anybody could come up to that conclusion. It's going to go down. But you know what the problem is? Many of the population think that because I have high cholesterol, I'm going to have heart attack and die. But I just showed you that people die more of low cholesterol than high cholesterol because they mask the symptoms. Exactly. So your body heals once you remove the the causing agent of it. Right? So that's what we want to promote for people is just find the cause and reverse. And you know, the only thing the only bad thing that could happen to you, you know what it is? Is you will get healthy. If you don't want to get healthy, then don't do it. That's the only negative thing that could happen to you. And health is it. And you know, we're all challenged, and we all want to get healthy. We all want to get off our medication, but we're just scared to take the first step. The first thing you need to do is just take the first step and just try to do something. What's more important, your health or just a few dollars that you would save if you don't want? If you look at it on the big picture, you're right. Like the food here is not good. I agree with you. I totally agree with you. But now we got to see, okay, so with what we have, what can I do to gain my health back? With what we have in our society. And there are things that you can control. Yes, maybe certain things you can't, then okay, so that you can't. But I'm telling you, most of the things you can control.
With my vegetable, I wash it with vinegar first.
Sure.
I soak it with
Yeah.
about 20 minutes.
Oh, nice.
All my
But let me just continue because I gotta finish this talk for you guys. But or else we could be here and answer all the questions. But I'm definitely gonna put a question and answer because I'd rather answer your questions and your concerns because that's the most important thing. Like the talk, like I've already told you the gist of it. So basically, you cover symptoms, you will get sick. You find the cause, you remove the cause, you get healthy.
That's true.
That's the bottom line, right? And we have examples of let's talk about this. High blood pressure. High blood pressure in your body is a warning sign. When somebody has high blood pressure and they're not running after a bus or a tiger's not running after them, that's a warning sign that something is not working properly inside your body. Okay? Like I mentioned, most people when they have the warning sign, they cover the symptom. Is that going to get rid of the problem?
No.
Never will. So what we should do, we should find out what the problem is. And usually it happens from thickening of the arteries. And we already discussed thickening of the arteries happens because of inflammation. And when you have thickening of the arteries, it blocks the arteries. So we got to make sure our cells become healthy again inside. Do you guys know that every single person in here, every 7 years, you have a brand new body? Every cell of your body changes constantly. Your blood cells, your red blood cells last 90 to 120 days. Your cells in your stomach last a few days. Your skin cells change every few days. You know sometimes you get dry skin and it flakes off? That's your skin changing. Every cell of your body changes all the time. In 7 years, you will have a brand new body. So now, you could either work to make sure that that body becomes healthier body, or you could just keep doing the same thing that you're doing and go a different path, which will make you sicker and sicker and sicker. And in here, we want to promote you gaining your health back, and I'm so happy that you guys are here, and you're finding out more about what to do to be healthy, and so on. So causes of heart disease. What are some of the causes of heart disease like we discussed? I'm just going to quiz you as we go, so we find out.
Build up a plaque
Yeah, buildup of plaque. Well, what causes the buildup of the plaque?
or diet.
Poor diet.
Arteries getting closed.
No exercise.
No exercise could do it. Inflammation, right? Inflammation. Inflammation is the number one thing that you gotta get rid of. Cut it, so like we get the example, you cut it, it heals. So same thing with the inflammation inside your arteries, it could heal too. So what could cause inflammation inside your arteries? Sugar, yeah, sugar is the number one. Some people might get an infection and the infection might cause an inflammation, right? So that you gotta make sure that you take care of the infection and slowly your body will heal. But sugar is the number one inflammatory process, and like you were saying, Vina, all the food that we have cause inflammation, and how can we avoid all of them? Well, you can. There are people that do it, but you just have to be very careful. Never shop in the middle of the grocery store.
And we shop the aisles,
Yeah.
the walls.
Shop the
Produce
walls, and
and-
usually produce and vegetables and
meat
shop
and-
fruits and stuff, and go, if you go around there, you're safe. Okay, so ultimately scores home. Okay, we talked about this time. I can show you this, the secret killer. So you see even in Time magazine, they talk about this stuff. Like the secret killer, so you guys see the picture, so they have it, they're saying like high blood pressure and inflammation is the secret killer in there. So what causes inflammation? We talked about this, so sugar, improper ratio of omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acid. Who's heard of omega-6 and omega-3? Okay, so if the ratio is not correct, then you're gonna get inflammation. Omega-6 to omega-3 should be 4:1. So you should have 4 omega-6 to 1 omega-3.
Oh my.
So that's why they say supplement on fish oils. What has a lot of omega-3s? Fish oils. So they tell you to supplement on fish oils. Why? Because most North Americans have a poor ratio of omega-3 and omega-6. Most North Americans, we have about 50 to 1. So we have 50 omega-6 to 1 omega-3. So that's why they tell you to supplement on fish oils to bring up your omega-3 to make it closer to that range. But the reality is, why don't you just eat food that's not going to affect your what do you call it? Essential fatty acids. Sugar grains.
How are you gonna get the omega-6?
Omega-6?
Yeah.
No, omega-6, everything has omega-6. Omega-3, fish.
No, I can get the 3, but I can't get the 6.
You don't need the 6. You already have enough on your body.
What's that?
You have too much. If you eat the standard American diet, you have too much omega-6 in your
Yeah?
body. Yeah.
Oh.
You don't need to supplement omega-6. You need to increase the 3. Blood sugar, grains, and refined. Okay, what this one? So when you have too much sugar in your body, we talked about this last talk. When you have too much sugar in your body, what does your body use to decrease the sugar? What?
Insulin.
Insulin, right? So if you have too much insulin in your blood, that means you have too much sugar in your blood, and that's the sign that you have you have inflammatory disease. And if you get diagnosed with diabetes, then you know that you have inflammatory process going on. But most of us, what we do, we just cover the symptoms of diabetes by taking insulin medications, right? Metformin, or even doing insulin shots. But the problem, like we discussed last time, is not the insulin, is what your body is doing to heal. And I'm not going to go over the details of that. The talk is, I'm going to post it in the description and you can go watch it. So ratio of fatty acids. So I said it should be omega-3 to omega-6 to omega-3 should be 4 to 1. 4 omega-6 to 1 omega-3. Poor ratio causes inflammation. And if you have inflammation, it causes plaquing in your arteries. Okay? So it's very simple. So make sure the ratio is balanced, and then the plaquing and the inflammation is going to decrease. The average North American, like I said, is 50 to 1 ratio. 50 omega-6 to 1 omega-3. So fish oil supplements help balance the ratio. So fish oil increases the omega-3, okay? Fish oils, yeah, fish oil helps reduce inflammation and cleans the arteries. It is vital to... So, oh yeah, fats. Who thinks that if you have high cholesterol, you should take more fats?
Depends on which fats. The good fats. You can have the good.
What are some good fats?
Coconut
Coconut oil,
avocado,
olive oil, grapeseed oil,
avocado,
avocados, nuts,
Peanuts.
almonds, walnuts, cashews, saturated fats, flaxseed oil. What are some bad fats? Trans fats, no, animal fats okay. Canola oil is bad, right? What else is bad? Vegetable oils are bad. Doreen has been to all my talks, I think. Commercially raised meats. Why are commercially raised meats bad?
Because of what they're injecting.
The hormones.
Because they're not living naturally.
Yeah.
The ratio of their meats or changes. Yeah, they're injected tons of stuff, but they're just living in a box and all they're doing is just eating corn. Do you think a cow is supposed to eat corn or like feed?
grass.
No, they should walk around and eat whatever they feel like eating. If it's grass they want to eat, they should eat grass. And do you think chickens should eat corn? No.
They walk around and
They should walk around, they eat bugs, they eat grass, they eat whatever they want to, right? So one thing is, you got to change the meat that you're eating.
Free range?
Free range, right. So let me give you the 3 steps that you need to follow. One is decrease the sugar in your body. You got to cut the sugar. And anything that turns into sugar. And again, I'm not saying that if you go into a party, it's a wedding, and there's a big cake, you shouldn't eat it. But I'm saying, but not every day. but not every day. You have it once in a while, but not every day. If you want the body to, it's like me cutting my hand, I want this to heal, but every day I scratch it. Is that cut ever going to heal?
No.
Every time you take a little bit of sugar, you're causing your body to not get healthy. And you see, Attila, you need to do it, man. You have like problems. Do it. Do it. She's doing it now. She started intermittent fasting since last time we did the talk, and she says, I can't thank you enough for introducing me to this. I thank you so much. And the energy, she says, I feel more energy. I just know that I don't need anything from 10 to 6, and she's good. She's doing good, right?
And I lost a little bit.
Yeah, and you could even increase the rate. So change the meat that you're eating. That's very important. And Vina, to come back to your point, if you start by changing the meat first, so buy your meat organic, and don't buy any processed food like any canned stuff or any some cans are good actually, but nothing prepackaged. And change the meat to free range or grass-fed beef.
No antibiotics.
No antibiotics, all natural, organic. Then that's the first thing I would suggest. I mean, you could even not eat meat, right? That would be ideal, and just eat organic vegetables and whatnot, and you'll be okay.
No, I like my meat, I'm sorry. What?
But that's fine, and I'm not judging anybody, right? So that's, you do as you wish.
Less of it.
Change the meat,
But
so
not more.
because the meat that's natural, the ratio of omega-3 and omega-6 is already balanced. So you don't need to supplement on anything. You just buy the meat, and you're going to save on the supplementation because the ratio is okay. And you got to eat tons of vegetables. If you're hungry and you need to snack, cut up a few vegetables and just eat them. What are some vegetables you can snack on? Carrots, celery, beans. Soon there's going to be beans. You could snack on anything. And the brain-body connection, right? So this is what we're interested in, and that's what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to put this here so you guys could see it. Since our thing's not working, so I'm going to go like this. There we go, perfect. Okay, so the brain-body connection, what is this? So for anybody this is the missing link in our society. Most of you come to this link, most of you get adjusted, but most people outside of here don't. Why is this the missing link? Because what controls every single cell in your body?
The brain.
The brain, right? So for you to be healthy, your brain, which sits up here, has to send messages down the spinal cord and nerves like this. If these messages are able to go, your heart's going to beat, your lungs are going to beat, and even food is going to be digested in your digestive system because the messages are able to go. If you have a message here that goes to your heart, and your heart's getting messages properly, then it's going to be healthy. But now let's say the person has stress at work, and he's always texting like this, and his neck is always forward, and he walks around like that, and one of these bones happens to shift out of place, and now it puts a little pressure, 30% pressure on the nerve that goes to the heart. If you have 30% pressure on the nerve that goes to your heart, can you be 100% healthy? Of course not. You will not be healthy. See, doesn't matter what you eat, doesn't matter what exercise you do, doesn't matter if you eat organic, doesn't matter if you eat prepackaged food, doesn't matter what you do. If the nerve going to your heart is not able to go at 100%, guess what will happen to you? Every day you're getting sicker and sicker and sicker. The number one thing that must be done, of course you got to do all the stuff we discussed. That's important. But it's not as important as taking care of the thing that controls everything in your body, which is your brain and spinal cord. The job of a chiropractor that looks at the nerve, because you see, there are chiropractors in here, in just around the corner, that don't look at this. They're going to say, oh, this guy's a quack. There's going to be people online that are going to say, this guy's a quack. That's fine. But the only thing I'm going to tell them is, don't you think that the nerve system controls everything in your body? So don't you think the smart thing to do would be to maintain the nerve system so it functions at its optimal health? Many of the people that have been coming here for a long time came here with symptoms. Like, I mean, we could talk about Joanna. Joanna, I could bring her up here. She could tell you her story. She was a. Can I tell you a story? She was a dancer. How old were you when the accident happened?
It was 2 years ago, so I was 21.
She was 21 years old. She's a dancer. She used to dance salsa, and her partner lifted her up for like a salsa move and accidentally dropped her on her head. How long did you have the problem? Come here, come in the front. Yeah. So tell us your story and tell us. Come in here, so in the camera. There you go. This is Joanna. Say hi to YouTube.
Subscribe, comment below.
Yeah. Right. So tell us what happened to you.
So yeah, what he said was my dance partner dropped me and I hit the back of my head here. And that happened in March of 2 years ago, and I didn't hear about him until August of that year. So from March to August, I had crippling headaches, pain, radiating, like I was just miserable, I was depressed, I had high anxiety, I couldn't do daily tasks, I could only do like maybe one per day. No
And she was about to
exercising.
graduate from university, by the way,
Yeah,
and it's
it's
not
an
easy when you have to take 5 courses
Yeah.
per semester. You probably drop a couple of courses too.
I pushed through it, but like afterwards, like my thinking abilities and everything were just so done and drained because it was
You
too
felt
much.
clouded,
It
you
was way
felt-
yeah,
yeah.
it was way too much. But when I came here, well actually before I came to you, I went to physiotherapy, and they actually said, well, do you have a concussion? And I said, well, yes. And then they said, let's check your neck and whatever. And she just kind of pressed down here, and I said, well, I don't have any pain. And then she said, well, your spine is fine. So I thought my spine was okay
Yeah.
because by the test, right? But it wasn't until I came to him and he did the x-rays and everything, and then when he adjusted me, that whole system like reset, just all instantaneously, the pain was gone. And
Tell
I
us what
cried.
happened after the first adjustment. What happened to you?
Like,
remember?
I cried.
Yeah, she cried so heavily that day.
Not
She
because
was-
it hurt,
Yeah.
because the relief. It was 5 months of living a crippled life, someone who was always active and a dancer and everything, to having to do almost nothing and like live in the dark pretty much. To have that like really great feeling of just, that's all I needed.
Yeah.
I just needed an adjustment.
For sure, and that's what a lot of people need, but unfortunately, people, the thing they do is they judge chiropractors and they say negative things about chiropractors without even knowing what it is.
So how did you know Dr. Ali? Who introduced you?
My mom did, who was sitting
Oh,
right
hey.
next to us on Facebook, and she was scrolling and she saw an ad for the deal that he had going, and then she called the clinic and said,
Oh.
like, is this a real deal? Because it was really, really
Yeah.
cheap.
I wasn't sure it was real because
Yeah.
it was too good to be true. So, but I still
Exactly, yeah.
called.
So that's what happens. She made an appointment, and then for all of us, and we all came in, and that was my secret fix. And
Right.
every friend I have that's gotten an injury from them, like, you need to go to chiropractor. You need to see
But
this.
unfortunately, people don't come, right?
People don't come.
And-
People say like, oh no, he
Well,
was
because
really
they have
it's gonna
doubt.
hurt me, yeah, all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. And
Right.
I said, well, look at me.
Yeah.
I'm dancing again now, working out.
You know, and she had to quit
Yeah.
dancing for the 5 months or 6 months that you.
For the last year and a half, I couldn't really do it at the competitive level. And
Right.
even now, so I'm just getting back into working out. But like I attend like my friends' dance classes every now and then. But like, just not being able to do it was heartbreaking enough.
So let me just say this. Imagine this now. Imagine Judy, her mom, hadn't found us, or hadn't seen my little ad on Facebook, or on Instagram, whatever. She hadn't seen us. What would have happened to poor Joanna? Because she did go to specialists, this physiotherapist, and the physiotherapist told them, oh, there's nothing wrong with your spine. There's nothing that you could do. It's probably just all in your
Head.
head.
You know why they don't know that? Because they don't x-ray. Not like him that he will
It's so
does the
thorough.
x-ray.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So what would have happened to her? See, now she's going to get her master's soon. Did you get into the program?
Slowly.
Okay, good. She's gonna get it. She's gonna get in her master's program. Do you think, now be honest,
Yeah.
do you think there was any way you could have gone into your master's program had you not taken care of this problem?
No, I wouldn't have been motivated at all to want to do any of that, and I would have still been today just as crippled as I was then. I would have
So,
thought like that's it, my life.
You see, all it took is for one person, her mom, to find us and bring her daughter here, and now they come as a family, and her life is going to be completely 180. Now it's our responsibility. You see, it's you're sitting here. It's your responsibility to tell people about this. You know what? You're going to hear negativity. People are going to tell you, oh, it doesn't work. It's Sam. He's a quack. He's this. He's that. Who cares? I don't really care. But I want to get another Joanna in here and save her life. Because her life has been transformed and it's been saved. Why? Because somebody, I put the ad, but somebody took the time to look at it and call us and do it. But now, some of your friends are sitting at home and they're suffering just like Joanna. Joanna's young, she recovered fast. Some of your friends are suffering at home, in pain, they don't know what to do, they don't know where to turn, they're just tired of taking these medications, and they know they have it in them, but there's nobody to bring them here. There's nobody to tell them what to do. And it doesn't have to be here. You just tell me where they live, I'll find them somebody. You just tell me where they live, I'll
But
find
sometimes it's not the same because before when I was still working.
Okay, thanks,
and
Joanna.
somebody-
Thank you.
When I went for the blood tissue, oh my God, he's a big guy and then he's going to go on top of me. I said, oh my God, it hurts. That
Oh,
is
but
why
the
I'm
chiropractors I'm going to refer you to or refer your family to are similar to me, and they're called corrective chiropractors. We focus on the spine and we make sure that we get the correction to your spine. Because had we not done x-rays of Joanna, I would have also tell like the physiotherapy everything's normal. Because you can't really see what's going on inside by just touching the spine. That's I don't want to guess. That's why we do a thorough exam to find out what the problem is. So here, that's the picture of the nerve system. So every nerve goes here. We do x-rays. So what are some of the warning signs that you do have a problem? Like she had headaches. Some people have menstrual problems, high blood pressure, cholesterol problems, irritable bowel syndrome, insomnia, asthma, neck pain, dizziness. What else? Fatigue, numbness and tingling, acid reflux, and so on and so forth. So what we want to do, if you have any of those warning signs, or if you know somebody that has any of those warning signs, I beg you, write their names on a piece of paper that who he's going to give you. Write their names there. And we're going to contact them on your behalf. So we could help them just like we helped Joanna. And if we can help them, at least we know it's not coming from their spine, and then we could guide them what to do. But a lot of the problems that people have is spinal related because the nerves are not working properly. So we got to find out where the problem is in the nerves, correct that, and allow the body to do what it needs to do to get healthy. I beg you, write their names, not for me, but help them so they become like another Joanna. Her life is changed. She says it. That's the least we could do. And you see, most of you, who's on Facebook? Raise your hand if you're on Facebook.
Yeah, I saw him on Facebook.
Yeah.
My grandmother present.
So if
And I
you're on
brought my
Facebook,
friend.
most people have at least 200 friends on Facebook. At least 200 friends on Facebook. If you're cool, you're probably 500, right? If you're cooler, you're in the thousands, right? So what will it, like, just write 25 names on that piece of paper that Holy's going to give you. 25 names. That's all. Like you guys have at least 25 names that of people that you know. Just write their names. We will contact them on your behalf and help them. Because that's why I do what I do. That's why I do these talks. Because I don't want to see another Joanna walking around, a 21-year-old suffering and in pain and like she was almost ready to give up on life at 21. So is this going to be my life? Headaches every day? I'm going to say this statement, and it's a bold statement, but it's the truth. 99.9% of people that have headaches, once they start coming to the chiropractor, guess what happens to their headaches? Goes away. I haven't had one myself, personally, since 1999. I know I look 22, I am 22, but since 1999 I haven't had a single headache. So what would it mean if the entire population didn't have headaches? Because it's totally possible. I go to Shoppers Drug Mart, I have a mailbox there. I go to Shoppers Drug Mart, and in Shoppers Drug Mart, there's an aisle, I swear to you, the size of my clinic, all they sell is headache medication on that eye. And people go and they had Tylenol on sale like $6.99 for $2.50 or whatever. And people were taking them by the dozen. I haven't taken a drug in God knows how many years, since 1999 as well. So I see that it's possible for every single human being to be like this. And don't get me wrong, drugs are necessary when it's needed in an emergency and crisis situation. But not to take it every single day to cover symptoms. Because covering symptoms will not get you healthy. Okay? And there was a study that showed that chiropractic cuts blood pressure. Chiropractic, because the nerves going to the heart come from the up inside the neck. So chiropractic adjustments in the neck actually decrease blood pressure more than 2 drugs combined. They had done a study and they showed that chiropractic actually decreases blood pressure. Arc of light, we talked about this. So what if you already have blocked arteries? What should you do?
What was the question?
What if you already have blocked arteries? Or you know somebody that has blocked arteries? What do you think they should do?
They told me I had blocked arteries,
Mm-hmm.
and they recommended a stent.
Mm-hmm.
They told me my heart was only functioning at 50%.
Sure.
And I just told myself that the body has the ability to heal itself.
Sure. And what'd you do? You probably, nutrition-wise, you watch what you were eating and
Yeah,
whatnot?
I've always eaten very
Yeah.
healthy, and I've been here, and that's happened about 2 or 3 years ago,
Sure.
maybe 2.5 years
Mhm.
ago. But I feel really good. I
Good.
exercise.
Yeah.
What
Great.
you did best is that
And I'm
So
Exercise
if
and
you already
right
have
food,
blocked
right
arteries,
diet.
what you should do is do whatever we talked about, like decrease the inflammation, decrease the sugary food, eat the good meat, so balance the omega-3, the omega-6 fatty acids, and also make sure that you continue maintaining your spine and nerve system so that functions properly. And if you do all of these things, the side effect again is health. Okay, so you'll get better health. So next month, okay, 1 second. Next month we have our talk again. The next month is on basic nutrition. A lot of people ask me a lot of questions about, okay, what should I eat, what should I not eat, what's good, what's bad. So that's what we're going to talk about next month. The talk's going to be March 14th. It's a Wednesday. We decided to do it on Wednesday next time. So March 14th, it's next month. If you haven't signed up, I'm going to pass the sign-up sheet around. You guys sign your name, write your phone number, and we will schedule it. And if you have any friends that need to be here, write their names and write their numbers here. We will call them and we're going to invite them with you, or just bring them along with you as well. Okay? So I'm going to pass this along, and you can sign your name here. And